Welcome to Stopped for a While. You found the end of the road at the Peaceful Place, a quiet little hideaway on the Queensland coast where the yarns are long and the truth takes a well-earned holiday. Picture yourself arriving at the Peaceful Place at the very end of a long day's drive where you can finally relax. Let's settle in together and share some stories with you. If you've ever hit the road with your home trailing behind you, everything packed onto the roof or into your boot, you'll know the kinds of unique, quirky characters you'll meet along the way. Those characters are what inspire the stories that we tell here on Stopped for a While. We share the tales of the wanderers drifting through. These are their stories, the stories reserved for that magic hour when the tent is up, the caravan is finally level, and the drinks are icy cold. We chat about what happened on the journey, regardless of whether it actually did.
I went up a big hill, which is Wollonga Hill in South Australia there, and I didn't put the pin in, and normally I'm pretty good on all this sort of thing, and a caravan actually came off the back of the ute.
Following the warm but not too humid weather are the stories of some travellers, old and young. They stop by on the way north as the southern states cool down. They pass by the Peaceful Place, maybe stop for a night or two, mostly to get as far north as they can before their holiday starts, only to start drifting back home in August when the warmth comes back into the air. Last winter, travellers came north through from Newcastle. Avid fisher folk, they were out on the boat every day, telling me they planned to go as far as Bundaberg. But then they'd park up, store the van and the boat for a couple of weeks while they flew home to Newcastle to take care of the grandkids during the school holidays, so the parents didn't miss out on work. Then back on a plane again to continue their holiday north. Most recently, a couple came to stay for a while just to get away for a few days. Mr., I'll call him that, was neither the driver nor the towing expert. Mrs. did the driving and the parking, so there was the problem. They were in the back of the amenities block with limited turning space. They didn't even take a look before they drove down first. Otherwise, she may have realised that reversing in might have been a better option. So getting the 14-foot pop top out at the end of their very relaxing trip was going to be an issue. Mrs. was adamant that her way was going to be the best, but she gave in to an awesome Mr. He creatively moved the van in 2 or 3 moves, so it was easy to just reverse out between 2 vans, a ute, and the amenities block. Calamity averted, and a nice end to a peaceful break. Are the stories in any way true? Well, that's a secret for the Peaceful Place. Rob is the owner of the Peaceful Place for a year or so now, and he is the perfect example of stopping for a while. He bought the park and stayed. Where did you start from caravanning? What got you into caravanning? Or camping?
Camping. Okay. I guess as kids when we were young, we used to camp and travel with our parents. We used to have a tent and travel around and
fishing rods
and all that type of thing. As you know, go off with your mates. We used to go down the southeast camping and that sort of stuff. So
southeast of South Australia,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah, that's right.
So you've done a fair few yards in a van, should we say, or
yes.
camping?
Yeah, I have, and I've had probably numerous vans, all different types. Bought them cheap and done them up and flogged them off, which is part of my.
Well, that's your background.
That's correct. That's right.
So
I use them, test them. I just use them, test them, think that's no good, and then move on to the next one and pick up another bargain. And
it seems like you've done a few places. Let's just list off places you've been on your hand.
Oh, I've travelled all over Australia, so been to many places. I quite enjoy it up here in North Queensland. It's really different to being down in South Australia or Victoria. There's some magnificent, beautiful places down there too, but
So you've
the
seen-
wind drives me nuts, and the cold, I can't stand the cold. And it's long distances between destination. Thing that
An attraction?
no, not so much attraction. As you get older, you don't want to travel those long distances.
Yeah.
So I can do it, and I've sort of had trucks and machinery all my life, sort of thing, and have travelled long distances, and I just want to relax now.
Yeah. So you mentioned you've owned businesses. You've been.
My first business was when I was 19. I bought a garden centre in Wollonga.
Okay.
Yeah. So a local garden centre man was selling, and I said to Mum at that stage, I'd like to buy it, but I'd worked in nurseries, and I used to grow plants and take them to the local line sale, and used to sell them. Used to sell them around the place to farmers and that sort of thing, and then I've worked in. I remember I was a little kid. I'd be the only driving forklifts. That just wouldn't happen these days.
No, you
or
wouldn't
the
be.
front end loader. Robbie, I used to be Robbie, get on the loader. I'm climbing up. A little kid, and then you'd be down getting potting soil, bringing it down.
Oh, lovely.
And I'd work weekends, and that's sort of where it all started, my plant.
And then outside of garden centres?
Then I went into, once I'd sold that, went into earth moving and landscaping and that sort of thing, so it still had the same sort of thing. So
You've mentioned to us lots of times Kangaroo Island. What do you do at KI?
I had, before I got to KI, I had a plant nursery at McLaren Vale I've run that for 6 years, started that from sort of nothing to built it up and then flogged it off, and I was worn out, so I saw these units on KI for sale that needed a bit of loving, so went over there and cleaned them all up and got
Did
them
some
operating.
renovations.
Yes. And we were there for I think it was only a year and a half, something like that. So it was only a short stay, but going backwards and forwards on the ferry, and I'd done what I had to do. Yeah, got it up and running, and
You did enough.
Did enough. Yeah, time to move on to something else.
So what got you to what we call the peaceful place?
Once again, I'd in a house in Adelaide. It was a beautiful home, but once again, I just tinkered around, did a few things up in that, and then I thought, I just want to go for a travel. So friends of mine from Queensland came down and met us at Port Augusta, and then we went up the Birdsville track, and then I pulled in at Burham Heads, and as I looked through papers, things, bargains and whatever's for sale, and I thought, there's a caravan park in the next town. So we thought we'd pop in and have a look at that, and tickled my fancy a bit, and made them an offer.
And they took it?
And they took it after a couple of days. I said to the agent, I can just drive off, and we've just what's what sort of thing. So, and that was obviously subject to selling my place in Adelaide, which I knew would sell very quickly. So,
and here we are.
Yeah,
and
that's
this
right.
kind of encompasses everything you've done in your past.
It does.
In
It's
gardening.
That's
and
correct. Yeah, and it's
renovating.
funny. I've always wanted a caravan park. It's
Really?
it has. Yeah, I've always thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity many years ago to buy one up the Barossa Valley, but my wife at the time wasn't interested. So, I could have started way back then, sort of thing. So
The ultimate stopped for a while. People
Yes.
come into this park, they stay for a while, maybe a week,
that's
maybe a
correct.
month.
That's right, exactly.
You've decided to come and stay and stop forever, or until your next story comes along.
Maybe, yeah. I'm getting older and got to think about the future, I guess.
Of course you have.
Yeah,
of
that's
course
right.
you have.
And got to think about, I haven't travelled a great deal overseas, and maybe, you're not here forever. So while I can still move and young, so to speak, would like to do those sorts of things. I have friends in England, so that's my sort of destination, sort of place I'd like to go.
Places you've been over the years, within a tent, within a van, camper vans. What are some of the things that come to your memory that happen in every park? What happens is it, the facilities are always a little dirty?
There's always a knucklehead. No, that sounds. There's always someone with a noisy car, or there's always someone screaming and yelling and going past the 10 o'clock curfew. You know, they're still going at 12 o'clock at night, and I'm just thinking, it's time to go further out bush and not go to caravan park sometimes. So, yeah, people are just inconsiderate, and that's what I find in a lot of parks sometimes. And really wonderful parks, so it's not always the case. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but,
there's some stories I've heard of walking around at 10:30 at night, and you hear sort of strange sounds, shall we say, from a camper. Maybe it be a rooftop tent or something. So you heard that? I was just wondering, what sort of funny stories? Is there anything that's really, you've gone back to your tent or your van and gone,
no, I can't sort of think of that. I've had air conditioning next door, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I went out to jump in my car, and I had my earplugs in the car, and all I could hear was the air conditioner still going at 2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah?
So I actually went and knocked on their door, and I said, guys, enough's enough. I said, can you turn your air conditioner off, please? Because funny stuff, I don't can't recall anything
You
funny in the way.
kept to yourself, it's not...
Yeah, oh, you always socialise with people and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this is where we are now, in the socialising place.
Yeah, that's right, yes. Yeah, no, I've had lots of funny things happen out of caravan parks during life, but...
with vans, stuff that's happened to you, you've gone, you idiot, you should never have done that.
Oh, yes, I've had my caravan. I went up a big hill, which is Wollonga Hill in South Australia there, and I didn't put the pin in, and normally I'm pretty good on all this sort of thing, and a caravan actually came off the back of the ute, and so thank goodness it was in a car park. But that was embarrassing. You know, I thought it was just one of those moments where you really got to, sometimes you're in a hurry, and but that's about all I've had. Problems go wrong with caravans, touch wood. A lot of people had far worse disasters than that. So
the owner of the peaceful place, the owner where we say people have stopped for a while.
Yes, people enjoy it here at Serenity Caravan Park in Tookum.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the way we call it.
That's correct. That's right. Nice, quiet little park.
The morning sees the tents packed, the hitches secured, and those staying a little longer at the peaceful place watch the dust settle, savouring the stories that have been left behind. But the quiet is only temporary, knowing the road always brings a new storyteller looking for a place to rest, and their stories will be shared when they choose to stop for a while. Stopped for a While is written and produced by Macmouth Media. Original music was written and performed by Ben Clayton, with special thanks to Rob Laffer, the man at Serenity Caravan Park. So, let's sit back with a cool drink and tell us your story. We'd love to hear from you. Be part of this community of storytellers, because you might just spark a new conversation and inspire new stories for everyone to enjoy. Find us on our website, stopforawhile.com.au, or check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Time for another cool drink. Thanks for stopping for a while.